So you're talking mainly about content here, but
Yes.
when I initially asked you about when the best time was in Star Citizen, you focused very heavily on stability. 317 was this
317
time
for
of
sure.
good stability. Yeah. So is it just the content that's taken it over that period for you right now, or do you also feel like the stability is there as well? Like, have they? You said it was more intentional now. What do you think it is that's making it feel actually more stable?
I think it's overall server health and performance. Like that makes it feel stable. Like you can play for hours now, like without an interruption. Where in 317 you could, but that normally meant that you were on a low pop server, or maybe it was a higher pop server, but everything wasn't working as intended. You might not get a 30k, but like the NPCs are not going to be responsive when you go to a bunker or do some combat missions. You might be able to mine for hours, but you're probably going to run into some invisible asteroids. And there was just weird things that were like frustrating. And we
I don't know.
still
I hear
have,
about invisible asteroids nowadays.
yeah, I'm not surprised. There was still some novelty in 317 with where they were headed. Plus, I think a lot of it was people's anticipation for 318 that kept people engaged in the wait during 317. There was a carrot that kept getting pushed out, which was salvage and PES and all that. Like the anticipation was palpable. Like people were excited. The excitement isn't there, which I think is what I think a lot of people are confusing with the playability and stability of the current 4.1 branch. I think the lack of excitement for what's to come, like we don't really know what's out beyond the next patch anymore. And that's different and it feels different. So there's nothing really to get excited for unless there's something exciting in the next patch. Whereas we knew or we believed that PES was the thing that was going to lead to server meshing, that was going to lead to Pyro. So I don't know. We believed all that stuff was closer than it actually was. And it took 2-3 years before it actually came to fruition. Like that, there was a lot of false starts in between. There were a couple good citizen cons in between that, like there's a lot of things that built hype around the future. And right now we're at a state where I think a lot of people were disappointed with the delivery of Pyro because it's not the Pyro that we were promised yet. They're still building towards that. Right now it's just Red Stanton. So we got basically a bigger Stanton and a normal size Stanton, and one is a little bit more dangerous than the other one, only because there's no like real reputation or crime system yet. You couple that with the fact that we know that they're not working on features too heavily for this year, and based on their messaging, like they haven't given us anything really to be excited for other than a better playing experience, which I'm sure people are excited for, but that's not going to bring anybody back who's been waiting for a more playable experience. Like people want the game that we've seen the last two Citizen Cons. Like we're not looking for a more playable version of what we currently have.
I don't know. I feel like people are saying it's the best it's ever been because it feels so playable. I agree with you though that 317 was a time when hype for what was coming next was really high. And we basically have none of that now because there is no extended roadmap. There is no ISC talking about sprint reports or what's coming next or looking at the future. I think people are excited for the things we know about: FPS scanning, crafting, base building, data sharing, all that stuff. But there is a distinct difference from the 317 period in that people are sticking around for the stuff that's actually in the game right now, as opposed to the stuff that's coming later. At least that's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, no, I think that the people who are currently playing have been playing since 4.0 launch and didn't like step away are happy. There's a tangible difference between 324, 4.0 and 4.1. Like if 4.0 would have been where 4.1 currently is stability and playability wise when it launched, I think there would be a lot more excitement for the future. But it kind of felt like a status quo, like, okay, CIG, this is y'all are doing the same things. The reputation with their current players and have driven some people like not away from the project, but they're taking a step back and kind of waiting for things to actually stabilize. Like they're not looking forward to this process of stability and playability. They want it to be stable and playable before they come back. Like a lot of people that I started playing with in 3.14 who have stepped away have not come back, even though I keep them updated on like what all's happening. They're not interested in coming back yet because they want a more complete experience of Star Citizen. Like they look at, like I said, they look at the last 2 Citizen Cons and go like, that's the game I want. Let me know when that's playable.